I'm Annette McCoy at a very different time today, and with me is Lois Kugler. I'm very excited to have Lois today because way back almost 11 years ago, Lois was on my first show on Blog Talk Radio. Lois is so keen, she wants to get really close to the camera.
No, sorry. What's happened is I've got something up on the screen, Annette. It says this meeting is being live streamed. I've got a little notice up there. I didn't know whether to get how to, and you've got it or leave meeting. So what do you want me to press? Got it?
Oh yes, just say got it. Everybody, we didn't do a little bit of housekeeping. That's new to
not gone.
That's new to Zoom, and this is live, so you get us all. Wherever you are, if you would like to go over to Angel Heart Radio Facebook page, then you'll be able to type in questions that you might have for Lois, because Lois has the ability to connect with those in spirit. And that is so comforting. Before we get to that, Lois, I need to remind everybody that these shows should never replace your legal, medical, nor professional advice, nor your own sound judgment. Now, as I said,
I've still got that in my dial, that the meeting is being live streamed notice up.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm pressing got it, and it's still there.
Oh, right.
And I'm pressing the X, and it's still there.
Well, don't worry. As long as that's not annoying you, just sit back, relax.
I'll just sit back and relax, and not a problem if it's not going to interfere with anything.
No. So that's wonderful, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, Lois, I have known you for, my goodness me, about 20 years, because like a lot of people, I came to you because I wanted to make contact with my late husband, who had passed sort of in the last 12 months. Now, a very good friend of ours has joined us. Hello, Lois, long time no see, from Tony. Hello, Tony. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio.
Thank you, Annette. Pleasure to be here.
Well, it's wonderful to have you here, and to think that all those years ago, you were amazing, because you could listen to a voice at the end of the phone, and that person invariably was in America, and you were able to connect them with loved ones in spirit. And now we're going a step further, because at the moment you're unable to hear the voice of a person. I will be telling you a name, and also any question that person might have. Getting back to when I first met you, I found it so comforting to know that Barry was living on. I don't think I ever had any doubt, but it was amazing to know just how much he knew about what was happening here. And so that's one reason why I like to have people such as yourself on this show, because you can bring so much comfort to people, because there is a lot of grief when our loved ones pass, especially if it's unexpected. We're thrown in at the deep end.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then when we're able to connect with them, it's wonderful. We know that they're living on, they're enjoying what this next chapter for them, and they don't want to see us sad and upset. They want us to getting on with our lives.
They do. They sure do. They're very, very happy, very safe where they are, and they hate to see us grieve for too long. It's a natural process to miss and grieve and wish you had them back, especially if their loved ones very much loved by you, you know, you don't want them to go away from you. But they do. But they see more and hear more where they are than they were on planet Earth with us. You know, they're by our side. If they want to be by us, they will.
Mm-hmm.
And they help us on our journey. They're very supportive, the spirit world. And it's just lovely to know that they're there and they can interact with us by medium, giving messages and letting you know that they're safe and well, and they can see. Sometimes they see people's, you can deliver that they see people's birthday parties and what their wife has just bought, and they know everything. They're living on, their spirit is living on, just animal spirits live on too, you know?
Yes.
And they're just lovely to be able to, this is why mediums are put here on this earth, to reassure people that are interested and are missing their loved ones and possibly in shock that they have passed so suddenly too, like yourself, Annette, with your husband, that you get a message that they're okay. So it's very helpful, especially if it is sudden and you have you have a life plan ahead of you and then it's taken away. So it's just nice to let them know that they're there supporting you and love you, and they're always going to be there. And watching over your children, if you have children, which is lovely, you know, to know. I think I delivered to you sometimes that they were there, that, you know, your husband was there, Barry was there for the boys.
Absolutely, yes. And for me, it enhances my life because I have that confidence. And I know I'd really like my boys, and one day I'm sure they will connect via a medium, because it can really, really help. Now, Annette has joined us. She loves it, Lois. Husbands knowing what their wives have bought.
Yeah, you don't get away with much, so be careful, girls.
Oh.
Everything they do, everything they see, they know, they do it with their love from there. They don't have anger, jealousy, or fear, anything like that. Their heart is pure love. So even the wrongdoings we are still doing, they understand it, which is nice to know, isn't it? Because not many people do understand our wrongdoings, do they? Not on planet Earth.
I find it interesting that, yes, when we pass on to the next stage, that we are in love. So, like we live through love. I mean, let's face it, Lois, that's what we should be doing down here, and we can get caught up with our human emotions. But because some people question and they go, oh, I'm not able, I can't have another relationship. I've loved this one person and that's it. Whereas that's not so. Our loved ones want us to be happy. And if another relationship is part of that deal, well, then go for it without any guilt.
Yeah, I think the guilt is there for a lot of people. I think that's particularly when they're young, and if it's been sudden or tragic, you know, I think they feel that, I don't know, it's honourable to keep loving them and nobody else.
Right.
But and it's a decent thing to do, and it is nice, and you can always, you don't have to forget them, but you can move on. You can meet somebody else and be happy, because that's what they would want you to do. They don't have any problem with that at all, not at all. Because we don't understand that, because we're thinking from up here, you know, we're thinking of the mind all the time. But if we're like spirit, we come from the heart, and the thought pattern is completely different and completely pure. You know, and we we get confused on planet Earth here because really all of us have that. We all have that beautiful heart where we want to be kind and good and accepting, but the chatter in the head,
yes,
just ruins it all, you know. And we are here to learn too. We are,
yes.
no matter how good and kind and how much we do exercise the house at the heart and bring it forward, we're still going to come up against things for our lessons, you know, because it's not about just loving, it's also dropping the fear and the ego.
That is a very good point, because while there is love, then there's no room for fear. And I think that's something that the last year or so has tried to show us, that it's really important that we let go of fear and bring in love.
Yes, well, if you do bring in the love, and the more you can and the more you work with it. I believe in integrity and sincerity are two of the big major things to open up your heart, to be as honest person as you can and the most sincere person as you can, because that drops ego to the sincerity, you know. You're not doing it for any other reason, but you really do care and you really want to be where you are. So I think, you know, people, the more you know yourself, Annette, and in the last 20 years we've known each other, look how much we've grown.
Absolutely.
Heaps of accepting things that we don't like or we disapprove of. We go, well, instead of getting up in arms and getting all distressed and terrible about it, we just go, well, we just know in our heart that it'll all pan out. You just start to think with the heart more than the head, don't you? You don't start thinking with anger and fear.
That's right.
You let it go, and the more practice you do that, the more you do that in life, and it's a lot of practice. And sometimes it's harder for other people than it is for all of us, but for some, I mean, you know, our journeys have all been different, and we've all experienced different things from birth, which can make it harder to open up the heart and let the soul speak to you.
All right, now, I know all of this is so easy to say, and yet
yes, it is
to walk the
easier.
talk. That, of course, is the human challenge. And as nodding, going, absolutely, Lois. So how can we, what little steps, because that's the next thing, isn't it? We need to be gentle with ourselves and not get upset if we're upset, because that's the human side. However, it's important, as you say, that we try and do our very best every day.
It is baby steps. I used to call it a spiritual tram. I used to say, I'm on the spiritual tram. I'm doing all the things that I'm learning and reading about and wanting what I want to be too, right? That's how I wanted to be. I wanted to be in touch with my soul. I wanted to do the soul-y things. I didn't want to do what's in the head, you know.
Right.
And then something would go wrong in your life, and I used to say, oh, the tram went around the corner and flung me off the spiritual tram. I've got to get back on it, you know. And so that's the journey you do. But the more patient you are and the more you get back on that spiritual tram, when it flings you off, you get back on. You don't give up. You just keep going and going. And then you finally become it. This is the way you conduct your life every day. You know, very spiritually, in a very spiritual way, with faith and love, and try not to get the fear going and the anger going. You just calm yourself. You just learn to do it. It is practice. It is, everything is practice. Everything is. You can't be a doctor without learning and practicing, and, you know, you can't be anything unless you're determined and it's your desire, and you just keep picking up yourself and going back on that spiritual tram. And I just know that it's helped me so much, because everything years ago would have been a big drama for me. Every mortal little thing, you know, I can't handle it. Oh, and they said this or they did that, and that hurt me, you know. That, you know, it's taken me years not to be like that. And it's been through just dedication and desire, the desire to be there, to be doing what I do, the desire to be calm, understanding, loving, you know.
And especially to ourselves. I notice that now I can laugh if I do something silly. Like this morning, I thought I'd cleared the pockets. I thought I had all the tissues out. Wrong. And I was able to laugh rather than going berserk, which I would have done in days gone by.
Yeah, probably about 10 years ago, Annette, you would have, but now you just laugh. Yes.
And I would have held on to that for so long. Would have been chastising myself as I hung out the washing instead of laughing. And I'd like to welcome Fatima to here. Thank you, Fatima, for joining us. Lovely, lovely, lovely to see you. And Annea's quite along the same page. Baby steps really do make the journey easier and not as overwhelming. That's
desire is very important too. The desire is very important.
Wouldn't you know it? Just because I want to be on air with an open door, the grounds person is mowing right near my place, so I had to put a stop to that.
But there you are.
live production. Little things can go wrong. So,
of course they do.
Well, yes, wrong was probably the wrong word.
Yes, things happen.
A little
things
test.
happen.
Yes.
Yeah, things happen. And they happen all the time. It's such a complex world. It's, you know, well, there's a lot going on in this world today, you know, and we've got so many things here, there, and appointments and this and that and this and that. People think, how on earth am I ever going to stay still? I do believe to become in touch with your soul, I think you really need to have time out. You need to spend a bit of solitude. Yes. That's how I did it. I did mine all semi-solitude journey, just time out for a long time, This is where people think, oh, you know, I can't do it. It's going to take years, and I want to be like that now. But each step is rewarding. Each step is rewarding. You can feel the change in yourself.
Yeah. I was distracted then, Lois, because Tony said goodbye. She dropped in to say hello, which was very lovely.
That's okay.
Yeah. And Annette has responded. Annette is so good at keeping our watchers, our audience, in the loop, and she's always shows her gratitude for people being with us, as we do on air rather than typing. So thank you everyone who happens to be here. If you are keen to ask Lois a question, keeping in mind that she does have special connections with the spirit world, please, you need to put it in the chat. Take the opportunity. I always find it interesting, Lois, how we find ourselves doing something. Quite often people will say, oh, this is the first time I've tuned in, or I just happen to be around today, and I find that it's always appropriate. No, sometimes we get nudges to do things.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. They say the first thought is the one you should bank on.
Ah, okay. And Naya has just asked, are you doing readings? Well, yes, you are. It's very exciting. Maybe by asking questions, I wasn't being very explicit. Yes, you will. You're happy to do connections.
Right.
Using your wonderful gift, which you've had now for lots and lots of years. And I know that you take great pleasure in using your gift to bring people comfort, understanding. And Anaya's very excited. She'd love a reading.
Anaya would like a reading.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So would you be able to ask her if she is having trouble with this person's death, like she can't sort of believe it or accept it as well as she should?
Well, see, Anaya can hear you. It's just that you cannot hear her. You cannot see her response.
Oh, this is quite strange. So she heard me. Okay. So is there a response to that?
Not yet, but we do have Meek Mill. Hello, a busy mind is the cause of sickness and a still mind is happiness. That's a lovely comment.
Okay, still mind is happiness. It is.
Now,
it is.
Anaya's saying acceptance is the journey. How important is that? My mum's birthday is coming up next week, and I'm particularly aware of not being with her. It's her gorgeous mum. Both her parents are in spirit.
Okay, let's see what I can do. So the question I asked, is it true that she was having trouble accepting it to a degree?
Accepting the passing, or?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait.
Although she knows that she has to, and she's aware that it's best that she does, but is it like she isn't accepting it because it's not what she wanted? I mean, it's not what we ever want, but it's she just wish she had more time. Is that is in her thought pattern?
Could be. Yes.
That's what's in her thought pattern.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I was picking up, that it's just like she wanted more time. She didn't want to, I'm picking that up from spirit too, I'd say. I haven't got anyone here yet. But I would say that she's having a little bit of trouble accepting this, only because it's, as you know, Annette, it's because we're missing them. We wanted them here, and you needed more time. That's the problem. But I'm getting that it's time you actually, that's been going on for a little while now, and you really need to shut that book, and you really need to move on, because you know different. You know that they're fine, and you know you have to do that, and we can't always have what we want. We don't get what we want always, and this is what I'm delivering from them. It's okay, they're fine. Her father has passed too?
Yes.
Yeah. Did her father wear glasses?
I think so. I had the good fortune of meeting Jim.
Yeah, beautiful person. Yeah, beautiful person. Okay, I'm getting a description here, but I'm getting glasses with a slightly balding man, the thin on the top. Am I getting a yes to that?
from me, not yet from Annette.
Oh, okay. So you met him and you knew that he looked like that.
Yeah.
And
from what I remember of the dear man.
Yes, and he did look like that, Annette?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Her mother is very happy to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very happy to be with him. They're side by side. Now, I don't know if you've met Anaya's mother.
No, I haven't.
No, okay. I need to get a description of her. Did her mother, well, I'd say her mother did have grey hair, but did it have curls at one stage? Back off her face?
You were right about her dad.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, he's very forward and he's very happy. He's very happy that Mum's there. They're close together. They're very, very close together. They're happy to be close together. He was very strong and he used to, she looked up to him and she needed him for, his approval in the nicest of ways.
All right.
She admired his advice and accepted his advice.
We just have to...
It's a delay.
Yeah, there is a bit of a delay. And we have Karen here who is requesting a reading, please. And I've just said to Karen, we will get to her in a moment. So, Annette, I think she must be...
off with the fairies.
Oh, here we go. Yes, Mum really looked up to Dad and considered him one of her dearest friends, even though they had been divorced for many, many years.
Yes, they're very close. They're very close. But there was definitely that friendship there, and she did admire his advice, and she looked up at him and she asked him for advice and relied on it. She trusted him like that. So they are together again. I think they're really loving each other over there again, which is very nice. But has Annette got a brother?
Yes.
I'm picking up that the mother's saying to, I don't know whether it's to make amends or to look after him, to make sure he is doing okay, not to let it vanish, to go too distant.
You are doing very well. It must be difficult because you're used to connection straight away and confirmation or discussion straight away. Yes, Annea's brother is in spirit.
Okay, so she needs to, okay. Is there a forgiveness there that she needs to give him?
Her brother passed when he was just 22.
Did she feel like, why did this happen and I can't forget it and I can't get over it? And because I feel like they're trying to say, to patch it up, whatever it is.
Right.
It might be her heart. She might need to patch her heart up and say, I forgive you for going. It's okay. I'm not going to be angry at you anymore because you went.
Annea's saying she needs to forgive herself.
Okay, that's what it is. Well, the message is that you really have to forgive yourself, Annette. You really, really do. They love you so much and you've had a bit of a journey here, but there's one thing I'm picking up with your spirit family is they're very honest and very loving. And you have got that within you, and that's where you've inherited it from. And everything is A-okay. Forgive yourself, move on. They can't wait to meet you, which is many years away yet, and they'll be there for you. And your brother had, did he have thick, lovely hair, dark hair?
I'm waiting. I get the sense that Annette will be quite emotional. And that's something that can happen, Lois, isn't it, with readings? Yes,
Oh,
he had a lot of hair. He had thick hair. It was fair.
It was fair, but it was a lot of it. Yeah. Very handsome boy, actually.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Ask Renee, when he was young, did he have a dog that he was very fond of? Because I feel like he's telling me there's a dog there with him.
Could it be Annea's dog?
Yes, it could be. Absolutely. And he'd be looking after it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. She's very emotional, and I was spot on there. Mm-hmm.
He did have a dog?
I get the sense it's Annea's dog.
Okay. Annette, they loved music, your family. And she still loves music.
Yes, yeah. I was wrong. Yes, he had a dog, great love.
Yeah, it's with him. He's letting you know it's with him. He loves that dog. Your family aren't in the next realm. I get the impression, and I read a lot of near-death experiences too, that you can either be close to your loved ones, or you can wander off. You know, you can go where you need to be. But I have a sense, Annette, that your family are quite close to you. They're quite low in the next round. Your brother hasn't left you. He's beside your side all the time. And so are your parents. They love you very much and admire you. And they don't want to be very far from you, because although your family may have been divorced and you've had trauma in your life of losing your brother, they have a lot of love in their heart and a lot of respect, these people, and they're sending it on to you. And you're going to feel a little bit better today, because I feel that they want me to say to you that you're receiving more strength and more love, because they've got so much up there, and you just need that extra boost from your family, because you're thinking of them and missing them, and they're going to get you through this. And you're going to be very different. You're going to be very different within a month. You're going to feel a power to get on with all of this. Is that true, that she's had a little bit of trouble?
Yes, yeah. She misses them and loves them very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they love her very much, and they're there to support her because of what she's doing in this life. She's doing a lot of good work.
Absolutely.
And they're very proud of her, and they're supporting her. And to keep the music going, there's something about music in their life. They used to love their music.
Yes, and they are saying that music is so important.
Yes.
And she's also saying that's so wonderful, Lois. I can't thank you enough.
You're very welcome. Many blessings from them.
Yeah. And Renee has joined us. I hope I'm saying your name correct. I can mess that up. I'm very sorry. Welcome to the show. Whew, after that one, Lois, Karen Curry is here, and she would love a reading. She has several people in spirit. And Fatima Gorgeous is saying, may your loved ones in heaven rest in peace, dear Anea. Sending you so much love, as we all are.
Can you ask
Renee.
Karen, is it Karen?
Yes.
That I've got next. Could you ask Karen if the person that I'm picking up used to ride a bicycle?
That would be so. I'll wait for Karen's reply. It's Renee. So I'm sorry, Renee. Beautiful name.
Renee. Sorry, Karen.
Yes, just spelled sex. Yes.
You said Karen, sorry, it's Renee.
Yeah. No, I don't want to confuse you. Renee has just joined us, and Karen has said, yes, the person you've got did ride a bike.
Right. And did this person lift this bike up, like, you know, on the back wheel and ride around a bit? Really enjoyed his bike.
I'm just waiting. Thank you, Renee. The interesting thing, Lois, is doing the readings this way. The people have to type their answers, and of course it can be very emotional, and so it's very difficult to do that. Karen's saying he loved his bike.
Yeah. And what I'm picking up from this person too, this is another lady, Karen, that you're having trouble with accepting this too. You know, you're not hysterical, but you just didn't want it to be this way, of course. And I think you're getting a message too that you're really, really, it's been a little bit long now, and you're losing the strength and the energy to push forward. And this person saying, please, please, please don't do that. Just please go forward now. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm still having fun. I'm still happy, and I'm well. Does that make sense to her?
It will. Sure. It's interesting because I happen to know Karen, so I know a little bit. What you're saying makes sense. Absolutely. Oh, God bless Anea. Yes, it does, Karen's saying. And Anea's leaving to integrate.
Now, can you ask Karen for me if there's been a celebration, because this person is showing me some balloons, and usually balloons means there's a birthday party or there's just been a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Was it his birthday just passed?
Not sure about that. We'll just wait for the this is really, it's very interesting, and waiting. I'm sure, Lo, what you're getting is spot on, but I will wait for Karen's reply. So you have a wait a minute, where are we? That doesn't make sense. His birthday was in May.
Yes. And did they, he's saying, well, it's a recognition from him, knowing they must have some sort of little celebration, did they?
We'll wait.
Because this person is in spirit is showing me balloons. and it does mean birthday or some form of celebration. So there probably was a lovely time for them to get together and have memories to celebrate this lovely spirit's birthday.
Oh, they went to the cemetery with balloons.
Well, he received them. That's what he's showing me.
Oh.
He's got, oh, my love, you got no idea. I'm so sorry. I'm not there and it hurt you so much. This person was so full of life and so happy and so energetic and still is, okay? A real little devil. A happy-go-lucky devil.
And the hardest part when people pass unexpectedly and so young.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I see him all the time with his bike, putting up the front wheel. Happy-go-lucky person. Yep. Full of life. Energetic. Happy.
Karen's saying she's crying and laughing because it's so true.
It's so true. Oh, goodness gracious, Karen, this guy loves you so much. He's pouring down roses on top of you, and I'm not making that up. He is. He's just throwing them all over you. You can't see them, but you can feel them. I hope you get a lovely wafting odour coming across.
Lovely.
Just throwing flowers all over you. He loves you so much. It's time. Please don't hurt anymore. Please don't stop. I don't think people realise, Karen, but you're at the stage where it's really hard to push now to move on. You've been trying and trying and trying, and it's going to be okay because you're going to get support and love, because this beautiful spirit has come through today to let you know that he's around and he's happy and he's on his bike and he's not far, and he received his balloons for his birthday, and he has so much love for you that he only wants you to be strong, and you will receive it. You will receive it from today on. You're another one that needs the strength to move on. And was this your son?
Yes.
Yes.
And Karen's saying, I'm struggling a lot, and and life keeps throwing up curved balls.
No more. No, they're gone now. Your son has said hello to you, and he's let you know that he's there. There's no more. He's going to make sure there's no more. You'll be okay. They can do things like this. They can bring things into your heart where it doesn't get any harder for you. They'll enter your mind and spirit somehow. He loves you. You've done your journey. You've had to do it. Now it's time that he's going to help you. We have to grieve. It's not normal not to grieve. You've done the hard yards, and he's there to help you through this now. And he's just you must love flowers, little roses. Do you love roses? Because I can see them as pink roses, just throwing them at you, which he would. Not literally, but here, Mum, catch this.
Yeah. Bless him.
And I need to say that he's saying that his head doesn't hurt anymore. Does that make sense?
It will.
Yes. His head doesn't hurt anymore. Now we're all going to have a cry, aren't we?
Yeah. I know. It's tough.
Mum, my head doesn't hurt anymore. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And he has a grandfather up there too.
I'm waiting.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness me. Somebody has joined us. Carol, thank you for reminding me. Maureen St. Germain did a workshop in my home and Carol came. Karen saying, yes, he does. Now, I'm not quite sure. Oh, about the grandfather in spirit. That was the last question.
Yeah, no, I wanted to know if my head doesn't hurt anymore.
Oh, okay. We're waiting for that. And we're going to come to a question from Renee shortly. Yes. He has a grandfather in spirit, but you wanted to know about the head. Karen might feel that I've answered that. The fact that his head
okay
anymore.
Very good. And does she love
it makes
roses?
Sense.
Are roses her favourite flower?
Well, aren't they?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was just thinking, so many of us love roses, don't we?
Yeah.
And for me, the pink was relevant because
yes.
pink suggests love.
And heart.
Yes.
See, I'm used to having a response straight away and then you can just continue on once you verify.
So roses aren't necessarily, especially, Karen loves all flowers.
Yes.
Mm.
Anyway, he's giving her roses. They're definitely pink. And
there you go.
Does, yeah.
Pink for love.
Yeah. Is there a question?
Sorry? Yes, now Renee has a question. I'd like to thank Carol for joining us today. It's always lovely when people say that they tell us that they're here. It's fabulous. Now, Renee, thank you very much for your patience. And here is the question. Renee would like to know why she feels so disconnected from her guides and her spirituality. Yes, if you're guided on that question.
Why is she so disconnected?
Yes, she wants to know. She feels so disconnected from her guides and spirituality.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very normal. A lot of people feel that. It probably has to do with your conditioning as a young child. I don't know, was there any type of religion or any talk about angels and sometimes that helps when you've been brought up with that type of thing. You have a sense of belief then. But if you don't have it when you're young, it's just not in your life. There's no reason for you to be connected or to sense them around. It's only when you start to want to bring them into your life that you'll get more connected. And there could be many reasons why you aren't connected. Like I said, it could be your conditioning and it could be what's happened to you in your life where you have lost a lot of faith and hope. So does she...
well, Renee's saying she's very spiritual, but I wasn't raised spiritual or religious.
But she's disconnected to it.
Yeah. That's her feeling.
Yeah, well, that could be your...
Sorry.
Yeah, we're all very spiritual and we get disconnected because we move away from it. We deliberately move away from it. We make different choices. I don't know what choices you've made. You just might make choices to party harder or to read novels or run and swim more instead of bringing in and talking to the universe. It's a choice. You're disconnected because you choose to be disconnected, but it's not that you really, or you haven't really got the faith. Your faith isn't strong enough to want to be there. So it really is up to you. That's why you're disconnected. I think we're all disconnected because of our choices.
Well, that's interesting because Renee is saying definitely not partying. Maybe you need to, Renee.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been talking to them every day.
Oh, okay.
The guides.
It might be what you're expecting, though, too, Renee. You might be thinking that you may be thinking you want signs or things to happen because you're talking to them every day. If you're talking to them every day, you are connected. You believe in them. You're there. You might be wanting to experience different things from talking to them, and you're not getting it because it's not the right time, and it's that'll all happen when it is the right time. I think you are connected. I think you might be a little bit hard on yourself. If you're talking to them every day, they hear you and they're grateful for that. So I think that's a wonderful connection and a wonderful belief system. Really, maybe you're just being a little bit hard on yourself.
Yeah. Well, Renee's in hard lockdown, so I can understand that.
Right.
Yeah. And she's saying this is true. I usually get messages in dreams and whatnot, but nothing seems to be coming through.
No, well, I think I think that's an expectation. I think Renee, I understand, because there are times in my life where I like to get an answer or a sign if something's worrying me. And I know they're out there, and I know they can hear. They definitely can hear, and they definitely know. There's another thing I'd like to say to you too. Are you speaking to them with the honest truth? I'm not saying you're telling a lie, but are you really talking to them with exactly the whole truth of your soul? Because that's another great connection that they'll respond to.
And we have Carol, who has made a comment. I'm not sure whether she's wanting a reading or not. I'd like to read out what Fatima has shared. Grieving is never easy, and when the pain gets too much, I ask for the angels and divine creator to heal my heart and ease my pain with grace and compassion.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
And that works. It does. They lighten the load. They really do lighten the load.
Yes. And we're so fortunate that when we know that we have this resource.
Oh,
all right.
Honestly.
Renee feels that she is. I acknowledge them a lot. I say good morning and good night, etc., and tell them my thoughts and feelings.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, Renee, maybe you're just expecting some little thing to drop out of the sky and say, here I am, I hear you. And you'd say, oh, my goodness, yes, you've answered me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We would all love that. We really would. All I've got to say is just keep going, and it all changes. You will feel it in your heart, and you will get little signs, and you're definitely not disconnected. There's no way. They hear you, and it's beautiful that you're speaking to them and you respect them with love and gratitude. You're not disconnected. Just keep going. You're doing all the right things.
Lovely.
You'll get there. Just a little bit hard on yourself, I think.
Indeed. Now, just before we end, Lois, Carol has a comment, and she would like some feedback. since her mum's passing 5 years ago, her sister has excluded her from her life. And she's very sad. She's missing her sister and her family.
Her sister has excluded her. Is it Carol?
Carol?
Yeah. Carol, were you slightly excluded anyway when Mum was around?
My mum is in my heart forever. I know my sister is still grieving the loss of Mum. Continue to send love to my sister to open her heart.
I'm wondering if Carol was a little bit excluded before that, but didn't realise that the sister had a distance anyway. I'm picking up that her sister has I don't know how to put this, but her sister has a troubled mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she copes is by pushing everybody away. I think a sister, there's a little bit of anger and a little bit of inability to able to come to terms with things and cope, and more likely doesn't seem to take responsibility of her own actions and seems to be everybody else's fault. I think I'm picking that up about her sister.
Right. True.
Yes. Well, that's why you're excluded. It's not your doings. It's not you. It's not your fault why you're excluded. You're not the problem. The problem is your sister. So the way to deal with that, I would say, just accept that she has a problem and try and work around it, or accept that, or just completely come to terms with that's the way it is. It's not how your mother would like it. But she loves you all, and she will be with you all and supportive to all of you. But I really do feel that your sister has more, the bigger problem. You're hurting. It's very, very it's very hurtful what she's done, and you miss your family. But I have a feeling that your sister needs some form of help.
Carol's saying that she understands what you're saying. Of course, she still misses her sister.
Yes, I know. Yes. I understand that. I have that in my own family, and I understand that very much so. It's very hurtful. It's not how you want it, but you're dealing with someone that isn't healthy in the mind at the moment, and that's the consequences of it, unfortunately. But in saying that, I would like to give you a little bit of a time limit on this, and it might be a little bit long, but I think it will be all resolved by the 10th year. In another 5 years, I think it will be all resolved, Carol. I think you'll have your family back again, and you're going to be very happy.
I can sense, yes, Carol's not only missing her mum, but of course she's missing 4 from her sister's family.
Yeah, could you ask her if did her mother have a walking stick, or
Well, she'll tell me in a minute. Carol believes that her sister has said since Mum died, something died inside her,
yes,
inside her sister. Mm.
That's true, but it's because she has the inability to accept and cope, and something always does die for a while.
Now, Carol, did your mum have a walking stick? And Carol, of course, a walker.
A walker. I knew she had an aid, right? So
right.
I am, pardon?
and she's saying that she'd like to think that it's sooner than what you say, because it's tough.
Well, it's a process, Carol. It's not like you turn a switch on and off. There's a little bit of healing to be done in the mind with your sister, definitely in the mind, and then the heart. And for you too, you're all devastated. You're all missing your mum. I understand that my mum's been gone for 20 odd years, 25 years, and I still cry for her. So we all do understand when we've had beautiful mums and they've passed. It's horrible. And 5 years is not a long time. But you will get strength. But the process of the next 5 years, it's not that you won't see her or be in her life. It will take that long to be relaxed and back to a nice, normal family again. It's just a matter that you'll get there. You'll see her, and there'll be talks, and it's just going to be all healed within 5 years. Sometimes that can take 5 years, 10 years to heal from a death. It really can. I'll tell you a story about my auntie, Carol. My auntie lost her husband, and she grieved badly for 10 years and couldn't come to terms with it and stopped living. Just shut herself in the house and lost all the love in her heart. And one day she rang me and she said, "Oh, Lois, I've got something to tell you. You're the only one that will understand this." Ian was her husband's name. And she said, "I had this dream that Ian and I were sitting in the train and we're going for a journey, and I was so happy to see him, and I hung on to him for grim life." She said, "Then we came to our station and we got off, and he got off with me, and he let her go. And she kept walking. She turned around and said, 'No, Ian, I don't want to lose you.' And he said, 'No, it's time for you to go alone now.'" And from that day on, she picked up her pieces, moved her house to near her family over the other side of town, and lived with great contentment. So it can take a long time. It's all a learning process for you to do this grieving and this shutdown. It's all part of your journey. And it will come to an end. The rainbow will come over, and it will be beautiful. It will shine upon you all.
She was hoping that, sensing that it would be now at the 5-year mark. May I add a little bit, Lois and Carol? I believe that those who love us the most on a soul level are prepared to play the nasty role in this lifetime so that we can learn. And that takes, and she's saying that the story you told, Lois, is pertinent. Of course it is.
No, look, in the 5 years, Carol, that I'm saying that it'll take for you all to be a beautiful family again, it's not that you're going to be shut out. You will re-enter within from now on over those 5 years, but it will be the next 5 years will be the strength and the courage that will be built up, and the love and the peace back in your family.
The hardest part at times is accepting the way things are at the moment.
I sure do understand that. But we have choices. And I think if you think, well, this is the way it is. See, you can accept with love in your heart. You can accept and say, this is the way it is. I don't want it like this forever. I'm hoping it will change, and it will, because everything changes. But you can send her love every day. Every day you can send your sister love, and that will be the healing process for you and her too. You don't sit down and wait for this to happen with great sadness. You keep bringing beautiful thoughts in, and love and happiness, happy thoughts for your family again. You work on it like that. You may not be able to do it physically and verbally, but you can do it spiritually.
Yeah. Lois, when we have a difficult situation, if we visualize the outcome that we want, that helps too. And that's not going to happen overnight. However, the more that we can send the love that you're talking about, and Carol's saying she knows there will be a resolution. Yes. Yeah. So I think
there will be, Carol. It'll be all right. This is part of our journey. You're learning from it too. The hard way.
That's the other thing too.
The hard way.
To realise that we can change us. It's us we have to think about. And by whether it be acceptance or changing our attitude, in that way we can then affect the other people involved. But we have to
you have to change your mindset.
Yeah.
You have to change your mindset. You really do. And people go, I can't. I understand all that too. I've been through all these things in my life. But you know what? I do realise you can. You've just got to try. You just have to do it. And then it becomes part of you. It becomes you. And the best part is the healing part. You send the healing part. Energy is one. This is why I can talk to you like this now. And because it's the energy you're giving out that I'm picking up on. Energy is the most powerful thing. So when you're asking from the universe to send this love and resolution to your family, it is stronger than you walking in the room yourself. It is very, very powerful. It's the energy. Energy is so powerful. So just keep doing it, and it will, well, I'm hoping it will speed things up. In fact, I'm probably sure it will. Yeah. And your mum, I picked up that she had some aid for walking, but it was a walker. But she knows this could happen. She knows this could have happened with your sister. I think your sister has this mindset that she can't get out of, and that's where she really needs a bit of counselling. Counselling is there for a reason too. There's spiritual guidance, there's spiritual counselling. There's all sorts of things that she can go to just relieve that pain and that torment that's going on in her mind.
All right. Well, thank you, Lois. We've gone just a fraction over time.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And Carol's saying intention healing for her heart and soul. Love is all there is. Sister doesn't like me being into spiritual things.
Don't tell her. We don't have to tell it. We don't have to tell everybody everything.
Yeah, that's so true.
You can do it, as I said, silently.
Yes.
This is you. This is what you are and what you can do to help her.
Carol's very appreciative. So that's good. Oh, and Belinda's saying she's very sorry she missed us today. Well, Belinda, like anybody who has been with us or who missed it, you can visit us on Angel Heart Radio Facebook page, and the video will be there. It will also be on YouTube. And for those people who had readings with Lois today, of course, you can revisit, because sometimes when you are overwhelmed with a reading, and it's so important that you can go back and listen again, watch again. There will be a message, no doubt. So, and Lois, what I would like to say in thanking you, and I'd like to thank the people who came forward and requested readings, because I'm sure that other people have gained from those readings as well. There was so much hope, wasn't there, and so much comfort offered today.
Oh dear, you're very welcome, Annette. Thank you for inviting me.
It's been a joy, and I know that you've offered comfort to people. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It was a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lois. And thank you, everyone who has joined in. Next week, I have the wonderful Janet Hickox with me, and Janet's going to be sharing what we can expect astrologically for the month of October. My goodness me, can you believe it? Oh,
the earth moves again.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. May you live in and through love, especially for yourself.